Today we have the Properties of Matter lab. On the left side of the screen, you see the materials that are going to be used: digital scale, graduated cylinders, magnet, bowl of water, and the items listed on the lab sheet to the right. So the items that will be measured are the rubber balloon, salt water, which I've dyed with a green food coloring so we can see it in our sink float test, iron nail, sugary soda, plastic ruler, wooden pencil, a rubber eraser, plastic spoon, metal spoon, and a non-sugary soda. We're going to start with our states of matter and magnetism. So for the states of matter, you're going to write down on your lab sheet whether each item is a solid, liquid, or gas. We don't need any tools for this. We're just going to watch the video and decide what each item is. Salt water, soda, sugary soda, non-sugary soda, metal spoon, and plastic spoon, rubber eraser, pencil, plastic ruler, nail, and balloon. So go ahead and take a moment and write down whether each one is a solid, liquid, or gas, and then we'll resume the video. Next, we're going to do magnetism. So you're going to write down on your lab sheet whether each item is magnetic, and you can use the letter M, or non-magnetic, and you can use the letter NM. The balloon is not magnetic. The nail attracts to the metal. The ruler is not magnetic. The pencil is not magnetic. The eraser is not magnetic. The plastic spoon is not magnetic. The metal spoon does attract to the magnet. As you can see, all three liquids are not attracting to the magnet. So take a moment and write down whether each item is magnetic or not magnetic. Next, we're going to do mass, volume, and relative density. So we're going to start with mass, and you're going to write down the mass of each item on the lab sheet and make sure that you include the G for grams. So you can see the rubber balloon is 3 grams. The iron nail is 7 grams. The plastic ruler is also 7 grams. The pencil is 2 grams. The rubber eraser is 21 grams. The plastic spoon is 4 grams. The metal spoon is 19 grams. Now, this plastic cup was empty and it measured 48 grams. The same type of plastic cup with the salt water in it, we can see measures 148 grams. So we're going to subtract those two numbers to get the difference, and that number is our mass for the salt water. So we're going to do 148 minus 48. We're going to do the same for the sodas that are measured in this bowl. So the bowl itself is 41. And the sugary soda is 100 grams. So we're going to do 100 minus 41 to find the mass of the sugary soda. And the non-sugary soda is 94 grams. So we're going to subtract 94 minus 41 to get the mass of the non-sugary soda. So go ahead and finish your measurements on mass, and then we will move on to our volume. Okay, our volume, we're going to write down the volume of each of the items on the lab sheet. We're going to be using milliliters, so make sure that you put your ml when you write down your number. So we are starting with 80 milliliters, and there is an iron nail in here. And the iron nail barely makes the water level move up. So that is going to be 1 milliliter more. So your iron nail is 1 milliliter. Next is the rubber balloon, and it's a little bit harder to see, but the balloon makes the water level move up to the 4th line above 80, and we're counting by 2s. So that's going to be 88 milliliters minus the 80. So that is 8 milliliters for the rubber balloon. The pencil starts at 80, and then once it's completely underwater, it moves up 1 line, so that would be 82. So that's a difference of 2 milliliters. The rubber eraser, once it's completely underwater, moves the water level from 80 to 90. And that is a difference of 10 milliliters. You can see I moved to a larger graduated cylinder, and this time we are counting by tens. So the metal spoon, before it was in the water level was at 300. Now it is 1 mark above the 300. So that's going to be 310 milliliters. So if we subtract 310 minus 300, that's a difference of 10 milliliters for the metal spoon. So that's 10 milliliters. The plastic spoon, you can see, is 300, and it moves up 1 line, so that would also be the same as the metal spoon, so it will be a 10 milliliter difference. So the plastic spoon is also 10 milliliters. The plastic ruler. The plastic ruler was at 300, and it went up 1 mark past the 300, so it's also 310. So that's also a difference of 10 milliliters. So it's the same as both of the spoons. Now, before we move on to relative density, you should have 3 left for volume, and that's the 3 liquids. All 3 of them were measured out at the beginning of the investigation at 60 milliliters. So you should have 60 milliliters for all 3 of the liquids: salt water, sugary soda, and non-sugary soda. Okay, we're going to move on to relative density now. You're going to write down whether each item sinks or floats. So you'll put sinks or floats on your lab sheet, or you could put S for sinks and F for floats. Okay, the balloon. Okay, the balloon you can see is floating on top of the water. The nail is sinking. The plastic ruler is floating. The pencil is floating. The rubber eraser sinks. The plastic spoon floats. The metal spoon sinks. Now we're moving on to the salt water. So the salt water was poured in, and you can see that there is a clear layer on top of the salt water. And so that means the salt water sank through the tap water, so that you're going to put that salt water sinks. We're doing the same thing with the sugary soda, pouring it into the fresh water. And give it a few seconds. And you will see that it separates. There's a clear layer right here of the water. So the sugary soda went below the water, so it also sinks. You can see that clear layer there. Okay, we're doing it with the non-sugary soda. And we give it a few seconds, and you can see that it mixes with the water, so it's floating in the water. It does not sink. Okay, so you should have your relative density column filled out in the whole front side of your sheet. That table should be completely filled in. And if we look at the inside, we have a Venn diagram. And you're going to take two items from the front and compare them. So whatever two items you choose, you'll put those names up here on the lines. And then we'll use the properties of matter over here on the right side to describe those two items. So anything that they have in common or the same, you'll put in the middle. And then anything that's different, you'll put the differences on the outside. So if one item has it, you put it with that item. And if another item has something else, you put it with that item. But if both items have it, you put it in the middle. So it could be any of these properties that are listed over here. And then at the bottom, you're going to arrange the items from the front side of the sheet by their mass. You're going to put the largest mass all the way down to the smallest mass. And you do not write the numbers. I want you to write the items in the order of their numbers. And the same thing for the volume. You'll do the same thing. Rewrite them in order from the largest volume all the way down to the smallest volume, writing the names of the items based on their volume number. And that's the end of our Properties of Matter lab. See you next time.